Okay, the Lions make an interesting signing of a guy that you probably forgot about. Before we get to that, make sure you check out our community page on YouTube. We ask a lot of questions. We just asked, who's your favorite Detroit Lions 90s defender? Robert Porcher, Luther Ellis, Jerry Ball, of course, Chris Spielman. Everyone loves Spielman. I thought I was the only one that loved Spielman, but everybody does. Duh. Okay, let's get to it. The Lions make an interesting signing of our guy, Savion Smith. Now, remember him? He had a really bad injury. Now, I'm going to get to why this is really interesting in just a second, but he got injured, I think, during the Patriots game where we're getting killed. We're on like a 4-game losing streak where it was like just a bad moment altogether. Oh, man, it was just terrible. So, here's the thing about Savion Smith. He was elevated from the practice squad and placed in the starting lineup over safety Deshaun Elliott. So he's a corner safety. He's a DB. Now, this is why it's interesting. He was legitimately starting for us. And then got hurt, scary injury. Why it was so scary, if you remember, it was so just basic play. And he lost movement for 30 seconds or something, but it was a total weird, nothing major. He just kind of got turned around, shoulder kind of got caught. And so he couldn't play. So he had to have surgery. Had the whole thing. It was a neck surgery that he had, but he's back. And we'll see what happens. I don't know what that means. Don't know if he's going to be just, if he's going to be back in time or if it's like we're going to sign you in case you're good, but I think he's ready to go and ready to be back. So the big thing about this is his position versatility. He can play corner, he can play safety, and remember, he earned a starting role the game he got hurt. And I remember his dad going down to the ambulance, if you remember that. So it's just crazy how totally forgot about this guy completely. I actually thought about him the other day. I was like, I wonder what ever happened to him, because um it's like, man, he's just, then I wrote him off like he's never going to play again. The next thing you know, here he is. He's a safety. And you look at you got CJ Gardner Johnson, which, remember him, he's a safety, but he's also everything. So yes, they have him listed at safety, but it's almost like we need another safety because Tracy Walker will be safety, and then Kirby Joseph. I think it's going to be Walker and Kirby Joseph as the safeties, CJ Gardner more in the slot. So if he's in the slot there, then you need, Savion Smith could be a huge role player for us, backup guy, special teams guy. So this is not a small signing or just a whatever signing. This is actually a pretty big deal. And to have Savion Smith back with the Lions, he's healthy and it looks like he's going to play again. Awesome. 2, he was starting last year, right before he got injured. And some of that was just to do, the Lions were trying to switch it up, do something different. Because remember, we were just on a slide. We'd lost 3 games in a row, something like that. And we were just looking to do something different. But hey, whatever. The guy was in, he was playing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on Savion Smith. If you forgot about him, I did. If you knew that he had a starting position right before he got injured. And then also let me know your 90s defensive player that you loved. Benny Blades. Oh my gosh. I loved Benny Blades. I loved Jerry Ball, which Jerry Ball, if I remember right, almost never really did anything, but he was just big and took up space. And you're just like, and then when he did get a tackle, you're like, that's right, Jerry. No, wrong show. I loved the 90s Silverdome. Man, I was just a kid, went there a couple times, and just to be able to see or hear, I remember being like, is this good for my ears? Like the Silverdome. Let me know your thoughts there on the Silverdome, and if you went to the Silverdome and how loud it was when you first experienced it. It was so loud, and no crap, it was loud. You've got the dome, you've got a cement field. There's no grass absorbing it. You've got 75,000 fans in there. And I remember hearing the crowd for the first time really loud get into the game. And I just remember thinking, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is good for my 8-year-old ears. I probably shouldn't be here. And it was so loud. And went and saw Barry Sanders and Marshall Faulk play. My dad took me down there right there, and he's like, we went right down to the end zone, and Marshall Faulk and Barry Sanders were actually talking, and he's like, just he's like, look at those two and don't look away. You're gonna remember this one day. Two of the greatest. And so I was just like, okay, what am I doing? He's like, just basically just get a mental picture, the best you can of those two. And I think we beat the Rams. I don't even remember. I was too loud. That's all I remember. I shouldn't be here. I can't handle this volume. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll see all of you on the next one.